Hi there, welcome to today's painting tutorial. In this episode we are going to paint an avocado with acrylic paints, so let's get started. And I have all my paints here. The colors are linked in the description below, as well as the brushes that I'm going to be using. And you can get a free link to the sketch in the description below so you can paint along with me. So let's start with a size 0 round brush. I'm going to take a little bit of water on my brush. And I want to start with the dark values. So I'm going to take this burnt umber and let's start putting that around the seed of the avocado. And this brush that I'm using is a pretty stiff, kind of old brush that I have. And that's going to help us get some nice painterly brush strokes and some texture on this painting. Okay, so now let's add some dark value to the bottom here. And I'm going to start with the burnt umber, and then I'm going to mix some of this dark forest green into that. Kind of working wet on the paper. Okay, and this dark color, it goes all the way around the avocado. So see if you can carefully use the edge of the brush and put in sort of a thin line of this dark green. Okay, and then it gets a little bit thicker over here. Okay, so now let's try to make that a little bit lighter. So I'm going to add some of this next color, which is kind of a lime green. And I just want to use that to sort of transition to a little bit of a lighter color so we have some definition happening. And then I'm going to pick up some of this cool green and let's try to put that in to create a little bit of texture. So I'm just kind of putting little kind of dashes of that green. That's just going to create that textured skin of the avocado. Okay, and then the next kind of ring around this is going to be a yellowish color. And for that, I'm going to use this yellow ochre. So see if you can carefully use the tip of the brush to add a thin color of this yellow ochre. Okay, so to get a thinner line, you just put less pressure down on that brush. Okay, add some water if you need to thin the paint down a little bit better, and that'll help you get a thinner line as well. Okay, so let's let that dry and let's go back to working on this seed or pit of the avocado. So I'm going to add some of this lime green with a little bit of lemon yellow. Let's mix that together and put that in there. There's kind of a little bit of a highlight here at the bottom. Then I'm going to take some white paint, work wet on wet and put that in the middle. Okay, I'm going to rinse the brush. So now we want to start transitioning from dark to light. So I'm going to take some of this burnt sienna and mix it with a little bit of the burnt umber. And then let's start adding that in, going around that highlight that we just added. And you can kind of adjust your tones, add some more dark burnt umber if you need it to get darker. And then it gets lighter over here, so I'm going to take some of this beige paint and start putting that in as well. Okay, so I'm going to take the burnt sienna and start putting that around this area. gonna get darker this area and try to mix those two. You can see that my paint strokes are very painterly because of this stiff brush that I'm working with. Okay, so I'm just trying to get a gradient of color. Working on those values. Okay, we want to get progressively lighter. So let's take some of this beige color, start putting that in. Okay, I want to get lighter, so I'm going to take some white and let's work wet and wet and try to get that to be lighter. Right in the center, it's going to be really light, so we'll just take some white. And you could use a new brush if you wanted to. Let's pick up the 6 filbert so that it's clean and the colors aren't mixing together. And then we'll just put that in the center. Okay. And then I want to put a little bit of a shadow over here. And for that, let's use some of this yellow ochre. Just add a little bit of a shadow. And then take some of the green and put that in as well, just for a shadow color. Okay, so now let's start working around this area. And for that, we want a really bright green. So I'm gonna take some of this bright green here and let's start putting that in. And let's try adding a little bit of white to it. Maybe some lemon yellow as well. So I want a really nice bright green. We'll start putting that in. Okay, and then on this side, let's get cooler. So let's take some of this minty green and mix it with some white paint. Okay, I'm kind of mixing both of those colors together. It's just giving a really nice mix of green shades. Okay, so now we want to get lighter here. So let's start transitioning to a lighter color. And I'm going to take some of the white and take a little bit of this lemon yellow. Let's mix those together. See if we can get a really nice vibrant yellow color. And let's start putting that in as a next layer. I'm going to get a little bit lighter. Try to get the really buttery look of the avocado. Okay, and then let's get a little bit cooler. So we'll take some of this beige paint and mix it in there. And let's see if we can put that in. I'm gonna add some white to lighten that up. Come around, try to get kind of clean edges here around the circle of the pit, so you can sort of change the brush so that it's on its side instead of flat like this. Use the edge of the brush and that'll help you get some nice clean lines. Okay, so now you could let things dry at this stage, kind of look back and see what you might want to adjust, any value changes. I want to take some white and mix a little bit of this yellow and then try to add a highlight. So we have a bit of a lighter color here I'm going to try to put that in, then over here. Okay, I might go back and put some of this green color over here, just sort of add a little bit more intensity of color. Okay, so just working on a second layer where you are refining things, cleaning up edges that need to be cleaned up, and you can come back in with some of these dark values. Let's take some of this dark evergreen color, rinse my brush. So I'll take some burnt umber with some of the dark evergreen, and then just try to bring back some of the dark values to get really good contrast. Okay, so now I think I'll just do a final highlight. So let's take a 0 round brush and we'll take some white paint, just straight white. And I'm gonna put that in the middle for a highlight, and then over here and then down here. So just little spots where I want to add a highlight. Okay, I think I need to clean up this edge a little bit at the top. Just make any of these final adjustments in this layer to clean things up and make it look professional. Okay. All right, and then I'm gonna put a little bit of a stem at the top here, the burnt umber, and then I'll take a burnt sienna and put that in the middle to lighten it, and then we'll take a beige and then put that, see if we can just put a dot of beige. Okay, so that is how you can paint a really simple avocado painting with acrylic paints. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please like and subscribe for more acrylic painting tutorials, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye!